everyone, I'm Caitlin James from Scalp Micropigmentation Australia, and in today's video we're going to be going through scalp micropigmentation pigments and how to dilute them. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the button for alerts to make sure you don't miss out on any of our great content. So before we get into how to mix scalp micropigmentation pigment, let's talk about what brand of pigment we should be choosing. Traditional scalp micropigmentation uses a carbon-based pigment. So when choosing the right brand for you, it's important to look for a few things. Does the company provide you with a material safety data sheet for your pigment? It should look like this. It's a document provided by the company. Secondly, it's important to do some research online. How long has the company been around? Are there some trialed and tested results using this pigment, and what do these pigments look like over time? It's very important to find a product that hasn't been rebottled and that is a product that's been made in a sterile environment. It should be a product that's easy to mix, and the dilution guide should have a large range of tones available to make so that you can be really creative with your color. It's important to find a product that is safe, sterile, has an expiry date on the product, as well as a batch number. There's many different brands of scalp micropigmentation pigments on the market. Today I'm going to go through how to mix two different brands two different ways. So next we need to decide which colour tone we're going to pick for today's client. So this is a dilution guide that's supplied by a pigment company, depending on what brand it is that you decide to go with. Today we're going to be looking at our clients' colourings and based on their skin colourings as to what pigment we're going to choose. So down the side here we have, say we're going to make colour 10, our client's going to have a medium or an olive skin tone. In this way of mixing pigment, what we're going to be doing is using our concentrate and diluting it with our dilution solution, being our water. So I love getting these little 10 ml ampules of water as my dilution solution. I can open them on regular intervals. Basically what we're going to be doing is making colour tone 10, which means that we're going to be using 1 drop of our pigment concentrate to 10 drops of our dilution solution. So here we go, we're going to add 1 drop of pigment into our pigment cup to 10 drops of water. Then we're going to stir our pigment to make sure it's really well mixed. The benefits of using the ratio guide is that it is very quick and easy to mix your pigments. It's also really accurate as well, and you're making very small quantities, so there's not much wastage. Throughout your session though, don't forget to continuously use your pigment stirrer to keep your pigment mixed throughout the little pigment cup so that your colour is consistent throughout the treatment. In this second example on how to mix pigment, we're going to be using Alivio, and in this example we're going to be needing a few different pieces of consumables to do so. So first of all, keep your pigment mixing guide handy. In this example we're going to be making colour tone 40. So to be able to do so, we will be needing a 20 ml syringe, a 1 ml syringe, your dilution solution, a larger pigment mixing cup, and of course your pigment. To make colour tone 40, we will be mixing half a ml of pigment and 20 ml of water. This does make quite a large quantity, so we will divide that in half today. So to make colour tone 40, I'll go to 0.25 ml of pigment and just 10 ml of water. Before you begin, make sure you have given your pigment a really good shake. First of all, we're going to put the 0.25 ml of pigment into our pigment cup. So 0.25 on a 1 ml syringe should look like this. When you're putting your syringe into the pigment, it's ideal not to coat your measurements in the pigment itself. So have a little look down into the pigment bottle and just see where your pigment is sitting, and try not to dip your syringe too far. Make sure there's no air bubbles in your syringe as well. If you can see a little air bubble in there, just expel out the pigment and start again. So here we have 0.25 of pigment. We're going to put that into our cup and just leave our little syringe in there for now. Next we'll add our 10 ml of dilution solution. So I like to start the syringe off first just by releasing the plunger. Get rid of any air bubbles. And there we have our 10 mils with no air bubbles. Add that into our pigment. And for consistent results every time, I do the same thing, which is stir and flush out my 1 ml syringe with any remaining pigment. If I do this every single time, my pigment choice, colour, tones always remain consistent. At the end of the day, make sure you store your pigment in a dry location away from sunlight at room temperature.